Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live. Today is Wednesday, July 1st, 2020, first day of the new trading month, first day of the new trading quarter, and last hour of today. I mention these each day, but at the end of the day, the large financial institutions, they come in with size, they have very smart people, the best technology. They start taking the control of the price movement from the day traders and the algorithms. The day traders and algorithms, they control the price during the day. And then at the end of the day, last hour, the large financial institutions wrestle that control away and take it back for themselves and move the prices to what they think are the most valid prices of the day. And those are the prices that I like to piggyback on their moves and make my decisions at the end of the day for my swing trades. That being said, I've had a handful of day trades today. I will share those with you in a bit. But anyway, let's see what's going on. The Dow Jones is down 14 points, down 15 points, down 0.06%. So kind of unchanged. NASDAQ is up 96.28, up just under 1%. And the S&P is up 17.86, up 0.5%. So a bit of a dull day compared to what we've been used to lately with the big swings. This has been pretty benign, I would say. So anyway, just want to make sure everybody can hear me out there. If you can, maybe say hi in the chat before we get going. I think I'm hooked up okay here. Evan, good. Thanks for saying hi, buddy. So Evan says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Evan. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming. And thanks to everybody for coming today. I really do appreciate it. I really look forward to seeing everyone. I look forward to it. I think we have a really great mix of people with good content, good analysis, good poems, right? And so anyway, I look forward to seeing everyone every day. Thank you so much. Marco is here. Hey, bud. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good evening, my friend, in Slovenia. Marco says, good afternoon, Greg. And all, hello. Evan says, can hear you fine. Okay, good. Miko is here. Good to see you, Miko. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Frank is here. Hey, Frank. Good to see you, bud. Hello, Greg and group. All right. Well, interesting day. Not my best day in the world, that's for sure, but pretty good on the day trading side. So we'll go through those. So here's the plan for today. First of all, we're going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. Secondly, we're going to come back and take a look at my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them moving forward. And then again, I'm going to show you the day trades that I've had. After that, some of you have been kind enough to share your positions with me. We have them up on the board and we are going to go through those and see how those are doing. I see some of those are doing really, really well today. After that, about halfway of the podcast, we are going to do a little bit on trader psychology, trading philosophy, very important component of trading. After that, I have identified some potential setups for the end of the day. As you know, I have 3 requirements before I enter any position at the end of the day. First requirement, want to make sure I have a confluence or combination of indicators. I look at indicators as MACD, RSI, moving averages. I look at those as groups of buyers, and you'll put yourself in the best position to have a profitable trade if you're in the company of as many other buyers as possible. If you're the only buyer and everyone else is selling, you're going to have a hard time for it to go up, right? I like to put it that way because it's the opposite extreme, but you want to be in the company with a lot of other buyers, a lot of other signals going off on multiple time frames. So I have identified about 10 of those today. Second requirement, good risk to reward. You can have the best setup in the world, but if you have overhead resistance above you, that's not quite as far away as the resistance below you, it's not a good risk to reward. So always make sure, commit to yourself that every trade you're going to take has a good risk to reward. It's very important. And then number 3, always keep in mind how many positions you have. Do you have a lot of correlated positions? Do you have a lot of tech stocks together, or do you have a lot of healthcare stocks together? Make sure you spread it out. You have some diversity between the type of positions that you have. You just don't want to be overweighted in any one industry. And then lastly, I might add, a rule for me is no matter how uncorrelated my positions are, I'll never put more than 60% of my capital at risk regardless. So at the end of the day, I'm going to go through those candidates, go through them with a fine-tooth comb, and my goal will be to narrow it down to just the very, very best one at the end of the day, keeping in mind the 3 requirements that I have. And then after the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, if you need any clarification on anything, please let me know. I'm happy to answer it. That's why I'm here. If you'd like me to take a look at any stock symbols after the market closes, please let me know. I'm happy to do that. If you would like me to take a look at any stock symbols before the market closes, and you'd like to get my opinion, if you think it would be helpful, please let me know. Put them in the chat, but also please put an asterisk by it so I know that it is time sensitive. All right, so that's the plan. So I'm going to run this U.S. legal disclaimer, and I'll be back in about 40 seconds. Thank you. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. Okay, Kamal is here. Hey, bud. Good to see you, my friend. Kamal says, I got out of AGQ with the plunge this morning. Well, that's been one heck of a nice trade for Kamal. Let's take a look at last time. Kamal bought this way back here, I think around 22. It's 28.48. I could be off a little bit, Kamal, because I know you took it on SLV, but it's close to a 30% move for Kamal. So very, very nice. Congratulations, bud. That was a monster. Excuse me. Boy, my voice is leaving me today. Karen is here. Hi, Karen. Good to see you. Appreciate you being here. Good afternoon, Greg and everyone. Good afternoon to Karen. Frank, oh, we have a 2-block poem. Entertainment can turn stocks into toys, and that's a recipe that can destroy. A video game mentality can lead to a costly eventuality. The market is not a gambling den. It's a lesson that's been learned time and again. Wow. That's really good. Let me post it, or put this here in my little notes so I can post that later. Boy, is that not the truth? Is that not the truth? Sometimes, you know, you're sitting in front of a screen. It is kind of like a video game, right? Let me try it one more time. Entertainment can turn stocks into toys, and that's a recipe that can destroy. A video game mentality can lead to a costly eventuality. The market is not a gambling den. It is a lesson that's been learned time and again. Whoa, that's so good. Dan is here. Hi, Dan. Nice to have you here, my friend. Thank you for coming. Hey, Glenn, how you doing, bud? Good to see Glenn. Glenn's having some nice trades today. We'll go all over all of those. Okay, well, let's start it up, see what's happening. All right, here we go. World famous SPY trade. Real quick, in case we have some new viewers, I do buy the SPY every day at the close. I hold it overnight. I take the overnight risk. I sell it the first thing the next morning. I do this based upon a backtest study from Liz Ann Saunders. Since 1993, and by the way, she's at Bespoke Invest on Twitter. Since 1993, they tested two different approaches. Approach number one, buy the SPY at the open, hold through the day, sell at the close every day. If you did this, you would have returned a negative 13.9%. However, if you do the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold it overnight, take the overnight risk, that's where I feel that the edge is in this approach, and then sell the next morning, you would have had a positive 634.2% return. Past performance is no guarantee of future result. That is true. That goes for any trading approach. But if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be towards something that has good back-tested results. And you can see the blue line is the buy in the afternoon, sell the next morning. Over time, all it has done is gone up. There's been dips, there's ups and downs like with any trading approach. But again, if I'm going to allocate money towards something, it's going to be something that has good back-tested results. So that being said, I did buy SPY yesterday at the close at 308.36. Sold it this morning at 309.57. So not quite $1, but not too bad for holding overnight. And I'll tell you what, I have made a major comeback. 2019 was a great year for this approach. 2020, of course, started off horribly. That's an understatement. But the last 2.5 months have been a monster comeback, about 75% comeback of my losses. So net, since I've been using this, it has been up. But, I do take a conservative position size every day, somewhere roughly between 5 and 10% of my account, depending what the volatility is. So anyway, grateful for that. And I will be buying that again today at the close. I better put that in there. All right, next trade. Cirrus Logic. Karen and Kamal and myself bought CRUS back here on the 25th of August at 57.73. We had an under 30, over 30, V1 under the negative third, over the negative third. Moved up nicely. I took some profits, phased out as it continued to move. It did move more than one ATR for my entry. So now, if I get a close below the previous day's low, that will be my trailing stop. So that is at 60.20. Currently, we're at 60.55. So it is holding above so far. So as long as it holds above, I will continue to hold it. USO is up 1% today. This is a little different. I bought this on the weekly, not the daily. I bought this when we had a higher low, V1, and an under 30, over 30 on the weekly. So weekly trade takes longer to play out. I bought it at 20.25. Last week went against me, but held halfway of the washout bar. This week is up 3.91%, and I am up slightly now on the trade. So when I do a weekly trade, I'm going to make my buying and selling decisions on Friday because that's the last day of the bar. All right. Bought Southwest Airlines on 629. I did like this trade. It was a big, strong bar with volume. I bought it here at 34.92. Immediately went against me, but held my stop of halfway of the washout bar on the 50 RSI. Today, gapped up beautifully. Did hit one profit target. But right now, we are at a 49.87. If it closes below the halfway of this bar, or it closes below 50 RSI, I will go ahead and just take the loss on this. But again, this is why I like to phase out. This will end up being a losing trade, but hitting that profit target up there near the high today, that was at a profitable level. And so that takes shares off of the table and reduces the amount of shares that I have if it goes down like it did. So I'll have to watch that RSI level pretty closely today at the end. CSX, well, I had hope for this one. Nice, big, strong bar, clean break above the 200, the 200-day moving average. dovetailed nicely with halfway of the washout bar. Bought it here at 69.86. Tried to go up, but my initial stop here is the 200-day, and at this point it looks like it's going to close underneath the 200-day. So I'll have to most likely go ahead and take my loss. But you know, even if you have a good setup, it does not mean that it's going to go up. It just means that you have a good construct of a trade, knowing what you're going to do the upside. Here are my profit targets. I know I would have taken profits if it would have gone up, but that 200-day is the line in my sand. Two negative things happen here. If we close below the 200, that's negative, and we're closing below halfway of this big bar. So very likely, excuse me, I'm going to have to go ahead and get out of this. Gold. All right. I did buy gold with Gary back here with the 520 crossover. I bought half of my shares here, half of my position here. It was a little bit of an extended bar, so I just bought half, and I bought half here very near the low of that next day. My average price was 162.78. Again, using the 520 crossover as my signal. Immediately went down, but the 5 held to 20, moved down. Then we had a nice leg up. Of course, I phase every time we have legs up. And then the last few days, we had another up, up, up. I think I hit one profit target yesterday. I believe it was one profit target. And I also took off a quarter of the remaining position that I had because it rejected the third ATR channel, and 92% of prices fail right there. So I am glad that I took off a quarter right here. I call that a safety because it was a bit of a red flag. Down today, it was down much lower earlier. I did take a day trade on this that I'll show you in just a minute. Oh, that's it. Okay. Those are the positions. So let me show you the day trade. Here we go. This is a nice setup. We have a double bottom with the bullish divergence. Here we have a low with deep red MACD bars. We did rally, created some green. We came back down lower than that low, but no red bars to be found. That's a double bottom with the bullish divergence. That's just showing that this second move down has less momentum. Then when that happens, you need a trigger. Well, here was the trigger. I took it intra-bar. It's a false breakout from over here. So we went below here, you can see, and then we went back up in the old range in addition to a V2. Got in here at 165.59. We went up, we went up, we went up. We lost the 50 RSI. So what I decided to do on this trade, I got out of half of my position, and then the second half of the position I would get out when we closed below the previous low. Then it went up and up and up and up, and I was like, oh, I'm really glad I held on to that second one, which I still am glad. And here's where we had the close below the previous low. So I got in at 165.59, got out at 160, a half at 165.97, and got out of another half at 166.06. So that was a nice little trade. Okay, I had two. Yeah, I had two trades on the Russell. This was a short. You can see we had a false breakout to the upside, reversal, and a V2. And at the same time, if we went to the larger chart, it also had rejected the 200-day on the 39 minutes. So, you know, I like to look at multiple time frames. So when it got up here and started losing that 200, I thought, okay, this may be a good short entry on a smaller time frame. And the smaller time frame was here on the 5-minute when we had the false breakout to the upside and the reversal down. I got short here, 142.43, and I got out when it bounced at the 200-day moving average. I got out at 141.88. So I got short 142.43, out at 141.88. So that was a nice short trade. Then we made a lower low. We rallied up to the 200-day moving average. And I said, you know, I think this is a good short trade. with a good risk to reward ratio. We were coming right back up here into support. I shorted when it rejected the 200 at about 141.86. No, sorry, 141.90. And then the very next bar, it closed above the 200. So I had to take my loss on there for about 21 cents. So that's that. And then Apple, I had a great 5-minute trade on Apple. I got out because the show was starting, or I was getting ready to start the show. But here we go. We went, this is on the 5-minute. We went under the 30 RSI, over the 30 RSI, under the third, negative third, over the negative third, and we had a V2. I got in at 364.51. And right when it got to the 100-day moving average, I said, you know what? That's a really, let's see. So let's see, 364.51. Okay, so it was about 60 cents, but it was 5 minutes. So let's see, 364.51 out at 365.07. And I just got out here because it was a quick, nice trade, and I had to start the podcast. And I really don't like having open trades, day trades when I'm doing the podcast. And it turns out that was a good place to sell it anyway. So those are the 3 day trades, 4 day trades. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 3 for 4, so that was good. Okay, let's see. All right, now let's go to your trades. Here we go. Upwork, beautiful trade by Kamal. Nice sideways motion. You know, the more sideways you go, the more likely you are to bust out one way or the other. Here was the trade. A bunch of us took this here at 12.48, higher low V1 at 12.48. Went up for a couple days, reversed. I believe I got out here. Then it went down. I thought I was smart. And then it just kept moving up. So this is a fantastic trade for Kamal. Looks like we may have rejected the 70 RSI up there at the third ATR channel. DDOG is Frank. Frank took DDOG at 84.90, rallied nicely, then came back, got a little underwater, but the last 2 days rallied nice. We talked about DDOG having that V2 yesterday, which is a good indication for the trade, and up 3%. Caterpillar, Pinsky bought Caterpillar at 124.80. Initially went down, but oh, it is actually down today, but still up on the trade, so that's good. Snap just keeps motoring on up for Frank. Frank bought this back here at 18.75, I believe, with this breakout, and it has been a monster trade. So congratulations. CRM, Glenn had a beautiful trade on CRM, 185.11. Moved up nicely, then came back down, got a little underwater, but the last 2 days have been champion. So up 2.85. Nice job, Glenn. Beyond Meat. Well, Frank had a beautiful trade on Beyond Meat, almost here at the low at 127.80. Went up yesterday, gapped up like a monster. I think it was up over 11%, something like that earlier. This is a bit of a bearish bar, being that we are, we have a gap and currently the close is below the open, but very nice. I mean, it's up 6.36% today, but when you look at this bar, you feel like you gave up a lot, which you kind of did, but it's still up 6.25%. Where are we? Dexcom. Glenn bought Dexcom here at 375.16, moved up nicely, then came back, bounced right at his entry, down a little bit today, but still nicely up on the trade. Frank bought TLT. Actually, a bunch of us did buy this here. Rejection of the 6 ATR channel. Under 30, over 30, bought at 156.10, moved up nicely. I got out here, and then it just kind of consolidated, moved sideways, and down a little bit today, but still up very nicely on the trade. MDB, Kamal, another beautiful trade at 201.70. I believe this was a false break. Yeah, false breakout to the downside with a V1, bought here at 201.70, and that thing has just gone up and up and up and up and up, except for a couple little days in here, up 1% today. NTNX, Kamal, beautiful. False breakout to the downside. Bought at 2268, and this has just gone up ever since, up 1.56%. Beautiful. Glenn, beautiful short at 1943 on NCLH, Norwegian Cruise Lines. And all it's done is gone down, down, down. It attempted to rally today, but reversed right back down. Oh, it's up 9 cents. Okay, so beautiful trade there. Quad Racer. Whew, I looked at this earlier and I was like, dang. Quad did buy SPCE, Virgin Galactic, at 1632 with this V2 close over the 50. And earlier it was down. I was like, shoot. But now it's up 2.14. So nice going, Quad. And then we have SPY. Frank bought SPY with this bounce off the 200, it looks like, at 302.52. It's at 311.48. So fantastic, Frank. Beautiful, beautiful trade. And what else do we have left? Oh, Ultra. So many winners, I can't even count them. Kamal bought Ultra at 191.49. It's at 204.96. Looks like this was an under 30, over 30. He bought it intraday. Twitter. Kamal also bought Twitter with a V1 here, 29.26. It is up 3.93% today. Very nice, Kamal. UAA. Under Armour, Kamal bought at 983 a couple days ago. Was up earlier, a little underwater on the trade right now. Brew, Evan bought Brew at 1539. It's at 1537, so just about break even. Oh, I already talked about SPY. Beautiful trade, Quad. Really beautiful trade on MasterCard. Bought at 295.80 yesterday. 302.79, up 2.41%. FAS, Kamal bought FAS at 30.85 yesterday. False breakout, and it is up 1.69%. And last but not least, Glenn bought NEM, Newmont Miners, at 58.10, and it's rocket ship up, is down just a bit today, but still nicely in the money. Wow, that's a lot of positions. And most of them were up nicely. Let me take a quick look real quick. So Cirrus looks like it's holding. And what was the other one I needed to look at? Oh, Love. Okay, it's back above the 50, so that's a good sign. All right. Glenn says, CSX did not make my buy trigger. 520 EMA and positive MACD. Will watch to see if it can move above 69. Bear target is 60, bull 80. Okay, good to know. GIB for Kamal. I don't know. I really don't see anything here that excites me too much. I mean, we're under the 50. We have a lot of resistance here. There are no V1s. So I don't see anything there personally, Kamal. Won't buy CSX below 200 at 67.30.73. Will not buy. Okay. And Frank says, I took half of Beyond Meat at the open. Fantastic, Frank. I kind of figured you would. In my mind, I thought Frank probably sold the open. I wasn't sure if you sold it all or sold half. Very good. Okay. All right, so listen, we're about halftime report here. Want to go outside a little bit from technicals and trading plans and support, resistance, all that. I want to talk a little bit about trader psychology. It's the most important part of your trading. I think it's 80% of being a successful trader. I mention this almost every day, but putting together a good trading plan is important, but being able to follow it, that's the golden key to success. Right. So if you're having an issue following your plan, either reduce your position size, get somebody to be a risk manager to look over his shoulder to make sure you're doing what you're supposed to do. I know it sounds weird. It's not weak. I promise you. You're just protecting yourself from yourself. So if you're having those issues, put some thought into how you can circumvent what you're doing, and having somebody watch over or being accountable to somebody, that's going to do it. I promise you. But there are a lot of good Twitter channels out there, a lot of good Facebook channels out there. They do a really good job of posting good trading words of wisdom for us to help improve our trading. One of my very favorites is Trading Composure, at Trading Composure on Twitter. He is really a master when it comes to trading psychology, and he gets really deep and he posts really great things. So if you do not subscribe to him, I really would suggest you do, and I would read everything that he has every day. Let's see what Trading Composure has to say here. Fear keeps us from making mistakes, and often making mistakes is exactly what we need to keep growing. Boy, this is true in life and in trading. You have to go through mistakes to really learn. People will tell you things, they will tell you shouldn't do this, but for some reason humans will do it because they're not going to learn until they've done it and something has happened, right? I don't know why, learn from the school of hard knocks, learn from other people's mistakes, but for some reason we never really learn something until we actually make that mistake. But as far as trading goes, fear keeps us from making mistakes. Well, a lot of people have a fear to trade, right? And so if you have the fear, you don't take the position, you may have taken it and you may have lost, and maybe you took it incorrectly, but really making the mistake is exactly what we need to do. So, if it's a good setup, take the setup, and it's going to work out one way or the other. But I guess what this really relates to is if you find yourself taking an impulsive trade and then you learn and then you lose, well, then you're going to learn from that, right? So anyway, have a healthy dose of fear, but take your signals when you get them, and don't be afraid to take your signals. Don't be afraid to take 2 or 3 signals if they've been losers, even if they've been back-to-back losers. If they're legitimate positions, take it over and over and over again. All right. So thank you for that, Trading Composure. I hope that was helpful. Kamal says, the only thing I can find interesting today is ZUO. Okay, I've got those down, so we are definitely going to go through those. Glenn says, QQQ outpacing IWN again. Lockdown fears are growing again. Yes, they are. Let's see, the Q is up 1.67%. IWM is down, so there's the big disparity. Look at Amazon, up 122 points. So yeah, that's exactly what Glenn was talking about. Okay, so listen, I do have some candidates to go through here. Let's take a look, go through them with a fine-tooth comb, see what's happening. Here is NEE. Well, I mean, it's a big, strong bar today. Look, I mean, we went under 50, over 50. We still have a lot of resistance over here. Wasn't a V1. I mean, yesterday really would have been the time to buy this with the close over the 200-day. Because it would have given you, at the very least, it would have given you a shorter risk to reward ratio, right? But here at this point, I don't think I would buy it because I mean, what's your risk going to be? Down to here at the very least, or down to here compared to what your reward is? That just doesn't make sense to me from a risk to reward. I mean, it might keep on motoring. I mean, obviously we never know that, right? But when I look at this, I just don't see a good risk to reward. Hey, Steve Burns, good to see you, my friend. Always nice to have you here, Steve. Always an honor, always a privilege. I'm always excited to see you. I know everyone else is. Thank you so much for taking the time to drop in and say hello to us. Steve says, DIA finding resistance to the 200 day. Let's take a look. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Peg that 200 day as resistance. When we're under it, remember that 200 is going to act as resistance. When we're over it, it's going to act as support. Let's quickly look at the other indexes. Russell still under its 200, V1 to the downside. See? Let's look at the Qs. Obviously, that one is stronger. Is that making all-time high todays? It could do. Well, it did earlier. I don't think it's confirmed. And then let's look at the SPY. SPY is over the 200 day. So SPY and the Qs seem to doing well. Hey, David, good to see you, my friend. Looking forward to our call on Friday. Let's take a look at, and Evan wanted to look at Chewy. You know, Evan, I mean, it's a nice bounce today. We had really, really strong move down here. We did have a V2, that is true. It looks like we've had a false breakout to the downside. We're at 50.81. Weekly's okay. I'm not quite sure about the risk to reward here. That's the only issue. I mean, you know, you could use halfway of the washout bar here. You could use the 50, but if you use the 50, I'd probably be in this for a little bit longer amount of time. But I think the key thing to watch today would be the 50. It would be the RSI. Currently over 50.51. But it has already rejected the 20 but if it closed under the 50, there's no way I would take it. If it closed over the 50, but just that huge, big, strong down move is what I don't like. Steve says, IWM also finding resistance. Yes. Glenn says, Square, AYX, SE, TDD, OKTA, Pins, Doc, Etsy, Coop, TWLO are stocks I will focus on the rest of the year. All right, good. Well, if you see any good setups, Glenn, on any of those, please let us know. Okay, Pins. Big day up today. Boy, had this V1 here, but again, it was a V1 into really strong down move. I remember seeing this, but I think if you took this trade 100 times, you would lose probably 60% of the time on this big move down, but that's up nicely. MASI. I think the better risk to reward on that would have been a couple days ago with that V1, but I don't think I would chase it up here. Costco. Not too bad. See this bar right here? See the top of this bar? We have a high with two lower highs to the left, a high with two lower highs to the right. This is what would be called a fractal. We have a fractal with a lot of sideways movement. Yesterday we tested the 200. Today we tested the 200. Today it looks like we triggered that fractal. We're over the 50. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, we had a reversal bar last week and followed back up with a move back up. So this was a reversal, negative. This was a bearish bar with the V1 to the downside, and we followed it right back up. That's why you're getting the green triangle here. I kind of do like Costco. to be honest with you. So I'll mark that one. SSO, I would not buy that with the 200 right there. I would be thinking more to short this if it rejected it and closed under, kind of like here. But no, I don't think I would buy this here. If I was going to buy it, it would have to be if it closed above. I mean, that's really what it would come down to. ICE, nice sideways motion here. False breakout to the downside yesterday and the close back above 200. I think that would have been the place to buy it, to be honest with you. I don't think I would buy it here. BKNG is bookings. Nice big move up here for sure. Hasn't taken out this fractal. I just don't. I mean, it went under 50, over 50. That's really about it. FTNT had the V2 yesterday. I remember looking at this, but again, was the movement. I guess it did to go sideways here. I just don't think I would chase it here. SPCE, quad's doing really well on that one. No, I wouldn't buy it here today, certainly. Google, big strong day. You know, Google, we just had the 1030 cross under. This is a good back-tested crossover, but the 10 would have to close above the 30 in order for me to get interested. But that's a good, valid back-test approach. You know, we came down so hard, reversed back up. I just feel like it's range-bound. I'd probably keep away from that one. Merck. Merck also did trigger this fractal over here. MACD went positive. Let's look at the weekly. Weekly, we had the reversal bar last week, which painted the triangle, and now we're back above. We're at 48.91 on the weekly. MACD went positive on the week as well. That one's not too bad either. ESG, Ensign Group, closed back above the 200 and the 50. I'm not sure how this one back tests though. Okay, here's the one Kamal liked. Big bullish engulfing bar. V1, closing above the 50 RSI. You know, what concerns me here though is this 200-day moving average, Kamal. You know, that's right there, right in your face, right above. And, you know, your risk to reward's going to be down here. Me personally, I don't think I would take this one. BMY. Has that 50-day right above. MACD's positive. Yeah, that one just doesn't speak to me either. An IIPR, it's a big V2, but we did have a gap. We didn't have any sideways motion. We just had the big move down. So, honestly, to me, all right. So Costco had the 520 crossover. MACD is positive over the 50 RSI. Took out this fractal. On the weekly, we had the reversal bar and moved back up. It is above 50 on the RSI on the weekly. This one is above 50 on the daily. Merck triggered the fractal, but it's below it. MACD crossed over. We're above 50. Weekly is at 48.87. MACD is positive. I think I would have to err on the side of Costco. UNH did trigger a fractal, 520 crossover. MACD has not quite gone above 50. It is above 50 on the daily. I would have to say sorry, thinking here. I think I like Merck the best. And the reason I say that is because it gives me a better risk to reward here if I use the 100-day moving average, which is right about halfway of the washout bar. And not the washout bar, but the current bar. I like that it triggered this fractal. I like that MACD went positive. You know, the 200 up there. I think I like Merck the best. I like Costco as well, but I'm not sure that I like the risk to reward as much. Okay, real quick, let me take a look at current positions, see if there's anything I have to do with them. Cirrus Logic looks fine, that we don't have a close below the previous day's low. USO is fine, that's doing well. Love, I am going to have to watch LUV. 3880 is about, or no, sorry, 50 RSI over here is my trigger on that. CSX definitely looks like it's going to close under the 200, so I'll have to get rid of that. Gold looks like it is not closing below that previous day's low. So I think I'll be able to keep that. Yep, that one's okay. IWM, that was a day trade, so I can get rid of that. Apple. All right. Yeah. I'm a little torn between UNG and Merck, to be honest with you. UNH, excuse me. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Merck. Glenn says, SQ is booming. I haven't looked at Square for a while. Holy tamale. Wow, look at that, Glenn. Amazing. 78, 80, 90 RSI. Up 11%. That looks like a bit of a climax bar to me at those levels and that RSI. Cost over Merck. Yeah, I don't, when I look at Costco, I don't like the risk to reward. I mean, if I use something like the 100, it's closer, and I know where you're going with that, because of the situation, with retail and kind of the being a safety stock at the time. But I don't want to give my stop all the way back down here. I just don't think the risk to reward. So I think the better risk to reward for me here is Merck. It's above 200. Yeah, I noticed it's above the 200. Has a 200. No bad, but Costco has 520 across the EMA. Yeah, I think I checked that earlier. I think I checked that back test. Let me see if I have time to check it real quick again. Yeah, so here's ETF replay. I'm using this by permission, by the way. But here's the 520 EMA crossover on Costco. And you can see it does not backtest well. It actually backtests negatively. So I think I checked this earlier, but yeah, the 520 is not a good profitable. It may be this next trade, but over time since 2000, it has not been. It's lost 38.8%. All right. So I am going to buy Merck and SPY. Now, let me see. What do I have to get rid of? Cirrus is fine. USO's up. LUV, I'm going to get rid of. CSX, got to get rid of that. Apple not doing a lot today, is it? I mean, considering how strong the NASDAQ is. Quite weak. I know they had to close some stores in China. All right. Okay, I got out of CSX there. CSX over there. I think I am going to go ahead. Well, I guess I'll just wait there. Southwest is going to be right on the bubble, but I certainly don't. It's a false breakout to the downside. V1 to the downside. All right, so 5 minutes. So the Dow Jones is down 55 now. Glenn says, I will buy Costco at 5 EMA, 302. Yeah, that makes more sense to me as well. It's a big bar. We very well could have a bit of a pullback. Then it would give a better risk to reward. Plus you have the 5 EMA as some kind of support here. And it makes sense. Using the 50 would just be too close. It would just be noise. Using the 100 doesn't make sense to me either. Here you have that confluence of the 520. That makes a lot more sense to me. Okay, I got out of love. So I got out of love. I got out of CSX. CRUS is right there though. I think I am going to just get out of CRUS right now. I think I'm just going to take that off the table. It was a good trade. It rejected the 10-day. Back outside the 1 ATR channel. So I am going to lock in profits there. All right. And I'm buying Merck. All right, there we go. So I got out of love, I got out of CSX, I locked in profits on CRUS, I did buy Merck, holding gold, buying SPY at the end of the day. And what do we have? About 30 seconds left. Whew. All right, there we go. Man, some of you had some really great trades today. Very, very nice. Not such a hot tamale day for me with my trades for sure, but day trades were good, so I will be happy with that. Kamal says, CRUS getting close to sell. Yeah, I decided to go ahead and lock that in, Kamal. Look, 620 6021 was my level, and it closed at 6021. But I don't like how it rejected the 1 ATR channel. I don't like how it rejected the 10-day. So I just went ahead and locked it in. Quad says, good afternoon, Greg and all. Hey, Quad. So where did Quad's... Okay, space was up good for Quad. Good, up 2.8%. And what else was good for Quad? MasterCard. Nice trades, man. Very good. Evan says, Chewy lost to 50, so I did not pick it up. Kamal says, out of Cirrus, Ultra, and AGQ. Okay, I'm going to get to those. If you have any additions or subtractions, please let me know. And it looks like you're putting them in here. But real quick, sorry, but I have to do it. My daily plug, just let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching lessons in the evening time via Skype. I've been trading for 24 years. I have studied with some really great traders and authors over those years. Steve Burns, Dr. Alexander Elder, Kerry Lavorne, and Larry Williams. I studied one-on-one with each of them. I think it's the best way to learn. Whenever I want to learn something, I want to do it one-on-one with somebody. So it's all about me. The attention's all on me. I can ask questions. I don't have to feel dumb with other people around, right? That's just how I like to learn. And I think it's the best way to learn. And that's why, instead of teaching a big class, I try just to do one-on-one lessons, because, if you're going to pay money for me to teach, it's really important for me to get your money's worth. And the one-on-one, I'm positive you will get your money's worth. So the class I have is 5 sessions. Each session is 3 hours. So it's long form. It's 15 total hours. I teach you all the different approaches I use. We talk about position sizing, profit targets, entries, exit, a combination of signals, trading psychology, all the stuff I talk about here, but just in more detail. We focus on one approach for the entire 3 lessons, 3-hour lesson. So if you're interested, if you've been thinking about it, it is $1,000, but I think it's well worth your money. I think it's worth every penny. So if you're interested, please reach out to me. You can send me an email. Email's in the description of this video. You can also send me a message on Twitter, at Gossett Trading on Twitter, and send me an email and I'll reply, and I'll want to set up a Skype call with you just so I can get to know you better, so that you can ask me any questions you have about the course, what it's about. And don't worry that it's a sales call. I promise you it's not. I will not ask you to take the course. I just want to talk to you, have you ask me questions, and I'll just say, hey, it's nice talking to you. If you're interested, think about it. If you want to take it, email me back. If not, no problem whatsoever. Okay. By the way, speaking of Twitter, I got my first person that tried to copy my Twitter page, an imposter page. Thomas Payne, our friend Thomas Payne, he sent me an email that is saying, hey, you have your first imposter. So I guess I should be, I'm not happy about it. But anyway, I had to report them. But anyway, I guess that's the sign getting bigger that I have an imposter. And then if you like today's podcast, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It really does help grow the channel. There's a lot of people that need help with trading. I mean, for those of you who've been around trading for a while, maybe you don't realize that anymore, but just remember back to when you were new and you heard all these different ways of trading and how much money you could make and how easy as it was. Well, I hope I don't make it sound like it's easy, because it is not. It's never been easy for me. There's times, yes, but those are fleeting. It's always a grind. It's always a challenge. It's something I don't think you ever master, right? But anyway, those are the 2 things. I have the class. You can send me an email if you're interested in taking it. And then if you could hit the thumbs up, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so let's get down here. Evan didn't buy Chewy. Kamal is out of Cirrus. Okay. Ultra. That was a nice trade, Kamal. And look, it's you know, it was a lower low trade. You're kind of just expecting a bounce. I think you did really well on that trade. I remember when you took it. We were on Skype together. And AGQ. Okay, I got out of AGQ before. Fantastic trade on AGQ, Kamal. Almost 30%, somewhere there between 25 and 30, if I believe. All right, Karen is also at a CRUS. So anyway, that was a good trade. All in all, that was a good trade. Get rid of Cirrus. Frank says, word has it your x-ray is showing a definite head and shoulders pattern. Oh, really? The x-ray that I had taken the other day? I don't know if you knew, Frank, but when I had my shoulder looked at, the x-ray, I had an x-ray. But just by itself, that statement's funny. Word is your x-ray is showing a definite head and shoulders pattern. That's good. That's good. You should post that on Twitter. Quad says, no need, trade still holding those two. Good. If there's nothing to do, just don't do anything. Kamal says, no new additions. All right. So any other changes for anybody? Let's take a look. Upwork is Kamal. Doing great. Hanging in there. Very nice. Dog for Frank's. Closed up high. That's great. Cat. I think this is the funniest thing. I don't know why. Dog and cat. Who had this? Pinsky, right? Yeah. So big reversal. Did reject the 200. Snap. Frank doing really well. CRM, who is that? That's Glenn. Beautiful day, Glenn. Beyond Meat. Frank sold half. I denoted that you sold half. You know me, I like selling half. If it goes down tomorrow, you'll be glad you sold half. And if it goes up tomorrow, Frank, you'll be glad that you still have half. Dexcom down a little bit today for Glenn, but still nicely up. TLT, that's Frank, off of its lows, still up. Kamal, beautiful trade on MongoDB. Mongo. I watched Blazing Saddles a little while ago. That's funny. Remember Mongo? NTNX, Kamal, beautiful trade there. This is, it was up a penny, but Glenn is short, so that's looking fantastic. Quad, very nice, my friend. Nice recovery off the bottom. Frank, beautiful trade there on the bounce off the 200. MEN down a little bit, but still positive for Glenn. Twitter up nicely for Kamal. UAA. Oh, this one's down a little for Kamal. You don't see a lot of trades down for Kamal. It's like a rare animal. Brew, right, just slightly under for Evan. Frank, we already talked about the SPY trade. Why do I have SPY on there twice? Quad has the nice MA. Good. Everything looks good. I don't see anything that's deep underwater. And that's how I like it. Okay, let's see what's happening. Where did I get filled on everything? All right, I bought my overnight SPY trade at 310.52 and bought Merck at 78.21. All right, so new SPY trade. At 310.52. 310.52. Okay. And Merck CSX, that was a bummer. And Merck at 78.21. All right. So that came down in the last few minutes, didn't it? Ooh, boy, did it ever. Good thing I waited till the end. So my stop on this one here is going to be probably close below this big up bar. So just a close below the 100-day moving average. So giving myself a really small, really good risk to reward ratio, right? Or let's see, tomorrow it closes, let's see where it's going to close under 50 tomorrow. RSI. That would probably be the better level. Sometimes it's hard to get exactly. Oh, I got it. Nice. That's what's nice about this. That's what's really nice about this what if tool. So tomorrow the 50 RSI is going to be 77.48. That makes more sense. Then it would have lost the 200 or the 100 as well. All right, so SPY in at 310.52. USO is doing fine. LUV got out of LUV. Merck, we just talked about that. I was going to get out of gold, but it did hold the previous day's low, so I am holding that. And Apple I don't have. So 4 little positions, pretty conservative. Frank says, I'm making an effort to trade less and hold longer. Yeah, I think that's the 1-2 combo, Frank. I think that's good advice for everyone. I really, really do. Get out of trades quick when you're wrong. You know, don't hold longer then, but hold longer when you're right. You know, I talk about this in my lessons, and I've mentioned it here many times, but when you get a profit, when people get a profit, they become fearful. And when they're in a loss for some strange reason, they become hopeful. Like they really feel like it's going to come back. But when it's in a profit, they get fearful that they're going to give back the profit. And I deal with this, you know, that's probably the one thing I've had to deal with the most in my trading career. But, you know, I know that it's the opposite. You should be fearful. I'm fearful when I'm in a loss. I don't have any problem with that. I am fearful when I'm in a loss, but being hopeful when I'm in a gain, that's what I need to work on a little bit more. And, you know, some people don't have any issue with that, but you know, that's the challenge that I always have to work on. And that's why I scale out, because it helps me hold trades longer. But you're absolutely right. Trade less, hold longer. That should be our bumper sticker. Gary said, out of love. Okay, Gary, I just erased it, but I kind of assumed that you were. Where did the markets end up? Were we green? No. Well, Dow Jones down 77, NASDAQ up less than 0.9%, and S&P up 0.5% even. All right. Quad says, likewise, Frank, that's why I like Greg's phase out method, because I can hang on to some profit and lose some of that anxiety that I will lose money. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's, you know, that's why I developed that phase out, because it does it does reduce the anxiety of holding on to things. Remember the what trade did I have? Was it Boeing? That was my biggest trade of the year. Yeah. From top to bottom on this weekly trade, it was 53%. Now, I didn't quite make 53% because I was scaling as I went, but there's no way, I shouldn't say that because it's negative, right? But it'd been very difficult for me to just hold one full position 53% up. I don't think I would have done it, but because I scaled out and scaled out and scaled out and scaled out, it let me do that. I need another Boeing trade. So I have an old friend of mine coming over. We used to date back in high school for many, many years. She's coming over and going on a hike with me. So that will be nice to catch up. Looking forward to that. We went from like 90 degrees to like 45 degrees in 2 days. It's like, what is happening? But now we're probably, I don't know, 70s. So looking forward to that for sure. Has anybody seen that show on Netflix, Gravity? Like the skydiving guys and the like extreme skiers and the like kite surfers. Holy smokes. I watched that. I was so uncomfortable sitting there watching it, like I was enthralled with it, but it scared me because I'm not a huge heights person. I mean, I don't mind it, but I guess maybe I do have a little bit of an issue because I was just looking at that going, oh my gosh. Anyway, if you haven't caught that, it's called Gravity on Netflix. It's really interesting and fun to watch. Karen says, have a wonderful day, everyone, and a special shout out to the Canadians on the board. Happy Canada Day. Well, happy Canada Day, Karen. I know Karen's up in Canada. Thank you for letting me know that. Happy Canada Day to you. Frank says, how is the shoulder feeling? Oh, thanks for asking, Frank. So I went to physical therapy. They put that electrical thing on me, and that felt nice, actually. Did my shoulders. I think it feels a little better. I don't have an appointment till next Monday, but I brought the bands home, and so I've been doing the shoulder stuff. I would have to think that it does feel a little better. But I'm going to be real diligent with the physical therapy stuff, and I'm actually doing it on my other shoulder also. My other shoulder is not so hot either. I was a swimmer in college, and they think it might just be degenerative from all the swimming that I've done over my life, which is a ton. So anyway, I'm feeling pretty good about it, being that it already feels a little bit better. So, anything to avoid surgery. But thanks for asking, Frank. Appreciate that. Okay, well, I like to see winners up on the board. When I see something that's up on the board that's been a loser for a long time, that's the only thing that concerns me. But there's a ton of positions up here, but they're all in the money. And just like Frank was saying earlier, hold longer, and that's the key. That's a skill, man. I'm telling you what, that is a skill to be able to hold big trades for a long time. That's when you really know you are at the top level of trading. And Kamal and Frank and Glenn have had some outstanding trades lately. And Steve Burns, of course. Steve Burns is like the master Jedi. He can just hold those things for as long as he needs to. So we all have our strengths and weaknesses. I have weaknesses. My weakness is holding on to trades long enough, and that's why I use the phase out. So anyway, whatever it takes, right? So it looks like things are down a little bit in after hours. Not too shabby though. So tomorrow is going to be our last day for this week, because Friday is a holiday, because the 4th of July is Saturday, right? Yeah, so Friday's the day off. So tomorrow's going to be our last day, and what am I going to do for 3 days without trading? Well, I'm teaching, so that's good. All right, everybody. Katie's over there sleeping, but I'm sure she's saying hi and she's hoping that everyone's doing well. And I think that's it for today, unless you have any other questions. But thank you, everybody, for coming. Please remember to try to go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a hello or hold the door open or just one nice thing today, right? And try to do it every day. It adds up and it makes a difference. Frank says, mental conditioning is so important. It really is. I'll tell you what, it is really important. You're right, Frank. 100%. I mean, the mental part of this game, that's the game. It really is. So happy Canada Day, Karen. Appreciate you coming, man. Looking forward to finishing up our lessons. Kamal says, thank you, Greg. Thanks, Kamal. Nice trades, everybody. Thanks, Miko. Thanks, Pinsky. Thanks, Quad. Good to see you, bud. All right. Well, have a good rest of your day. Be nice. Be good. And if you could, hit the thumbs up button before you leave. I would really appreciate that. All right. Thanks again. Appreciate y'all. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye, Dan. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity. Thank you.